The cold moon rises as December's full moon, marking one of the most anticipated celestial events of the entire year. This is not just any ordinary full moon that graces our night sky with its familiar gentle luminescence. This is the final supermoon of 2025, a cosmic phenomenon that appears bigger, brighter, and bolder than any moon we have witnessed throughout this entire year. When we look up at the night sky and see this magnificent lunar display, we are witnessing something that connects us to the ancient rhythms of our planet and the broader universe beyond. The moon has been humanity's constant companion since our species first walked upright, and this December spectacle reminds us of that timeless relationship between Earth and its only natural satellite. Astrologers and spiritual practitioners around the world say that the energy radiating from this cold moon can impact every zodiac sign in profound and meaningful ways. While astronomy gives us the scientific framework to understand what we are seeing through telescopes and mathematical calculations, astrology has long suggested that these celestial events carry significance beyond their physical presence in the night sky. The event marks both endings and new beginnings, a symbolic shift that resonates deeply with people across cultures and traditions who see the turning of the year as more than just a change in the calendar. As we stand at the threshold of a new year, this lunar event feels particularly poignant, almost as if the universe itself is preparing to turn the page on 2025 and usher in the promise of 2026 with all the hope and possibility that a new year brings. The cold moon creates a silver glow that spreads across the entire planet, illuminating landscapes from frozen tundras to tropical beaches, from bustling metropolitan cities to remote wilderness areas untouched by human development. This ethereal light has inspired poets, artists, and dreamers for millennia, finding its way into countless works of literature, paintings, songs, and stories that celebrate the beauty of the natural world. It is a moment that invites people everywhere to pause their busy lives and reflect on the year that has passed with all its triumphs and challenges, and the possibilities that lie ahead in the unknown future. There is something inherently humbling about standing beneath a full moon and recognizing our place in the vastness of space and time, understanding that we are small but significant parts of something much greater than ourselves. This December supermoon is set in the sky like a dramatic final act of a cosmic play, the grand finale before the curtain falls on this year and the stage is reset for the next performance. It is a lunar moment that stirs both hearts and minds, awakening something primal within us that remembers when our ancestors lived by the cycles of the moon, planting crops according to its phases, hunting game during its bright nights, and navigating vast oceans using its reliable light as their guide through darkness. Even in our modern world filled with artificial illumination that banishes the night and digital screens that capture our constant attention, the full moon still commands our attention and draws our gaze skyward with irresistible magnetic pull. The connection between humans and the moon transcends generations and technologies. What makes this event truly special is that it is a global spectacle that everyone can witness simply by looking up at the night sky, regardless of their location or circumstances. You do not need expensive telescopic equipment or specialized astronomical training to appreciate this wonder of the cosmos. You do not need to travel to remote locations far from civilization or obtain special permissions from authorities to observe this natural phenomenon. Whether you are standing on a rooftop in New York City or on a beach in Mumbai, watching from a temple in Tokyo or a bridge in London, gazing from the harbour in Sydney or the ancient streets of Cairo, the cold supermoon shines for everyone with equal brilliance and beauty. It is one of those increasingly rare moments when all of humanity can share a common experience, united under the same celestial canopy that stretches above us all, reminding us of our shared existence on this pale blue dot suspended in the cosmic ocean. This supermoon reminds us that, despite our differences in language, culture, religion, and nationality, we are all inhabitants of the same small blue planet, circling the same ordinary yellow star, gazing up at the same extraordinary moon that has witnessed the entire history of human civilization unfold beneath its watchful presence. The cold moon represents nature's way of bidding farewell to 2025, offering us one last spectacular show before the year comes to its inevitable close and we step forward into the unknown possibilities of the next chapter in our collective journey through time and space under the eternal watch of celestial bodies that have guided humanity since the dawn of consciousness. As this cosmic farewell unfolds across the heavens, people around the world have been turning their eyes skyward to admire its celestial beauty, each observer adding their own story to the collective human experience of witnessing this extraordinary lunar event. The cold supermoon has become more than just an astronomical occurrence. It has transformed into a shared moment of wonder that transcends borders and boundaries, reminding us that we are all connected under the same vast sky. The visible enjoyment of this phenomenon has been particularly striking in places like Bogota, Colombia, where thousands gathered in parks and on rooftops to watch the moon rise above the Andean mountains, casting its silver light across the cityscape and creating a magical atmosphere that brought communities together in spontaneous celebration. The moon reached its fullness on December 4th at 6:14 in the evening local time, creating perfect viewing conditions for observers in South America who witnessed the spectacle in all its magnificent glory. Street vendors sold warm beverages to moon watchers, families spread blankets in public spaces, and photographers set up their equipment to capture the moment, all united by the simple act of looking up. However, not all countries have been equally fortunate in witnessing this rare visual spectacle, a reality that highlights just how lucky those with clear skies truly are. Weather patterns, cloud cover, and atmospheric conditions have created a geographic lottery of sorts, where some regions bathed in moonlight while others remained shrouded in darkness and clouds. Parts of northern Europe faced thick cloud cover that obscured the view entirely, leaving enthusiasts disappointed but hopeful for future celestial events. Regions experiencing monsoon seasons or winter storms found themselves similarly disadvantaged, unable to participate in this global moment of astronomical appreciation despite their best efforts and intentions. Sky watchers, who have been fortunate enough to witness the cold moon, have described it using terms like inexplicable phenomena, struggling to find adequate words to capture the profound emotional response that such natural beauty can evoke in the human soul. Amateur astronomers and casual observers alike have reported feeling a sense of awe that goes beyond simple visual appreciation, touching something deeper within the human experience. Social media platforms have been flooded with photographs and videos, each person trying to share their unique perspective on this shared celestial event, creating a digital tapestry of global wonder. The images reveal the moon hanging above famous landmarks reflected in still waters, rising behind silhouetted trees, and glowing above urban skylines, each photograph telling a different story of the same cosmic moment. This cold supermoon creates genuine happiness for viewers, serving as a feel-good cosmic event that provides a welcome respite from the challenges and stresses of daily modern life. In a world often dominated by concerning news and divisive rhetoric, the moon offers something refreshingly simple and universally positive. Psychologists have long noted that experiencing natural phenomena can reduce stress, increase feelings of connectedness, and provide perspective on our place in the larger scheme of existence. The act of moon gazing becomes almost meditative, allowing viewers to step outside their immediate concerns and connect with something timeless and eternal. The phenomenon connects humanity under one sky in ways that few other events can achieve, creating invisible threads of shared experience that link strangers across continents and oceans. While we may speak different languages, practice different religions, and hold different political views, we all see the same moon, unchanged by human divisions and conflicts. This universality makes the cold supermoon a powerful symbol of our common humanity, a reminder that we share one planet and one destiny among the stars. Indigenous cultures around the world have long understood this connection, incorporating moon phases into their calendars, ceremonies, and understanding of the natural cycles that govern life on Earth. The event represents a shared moment of wonder and unity, however brief it may be in the grand sweep of human history. For a few nights, people who might never meet or have anything else in common can look up and know that others around the world are doing the exact same thing, experiencing the same sense of amazement and beauty. This collective experience creates a temporary global community of moon watchers, bound together by their appreciation of the cosmos and their willingness to pause their busy lives to witness something extraordinary. It is during these moments that humanity remembers its capacity for shared wonder and collective joy. The cold supermoon has driven massive sky-gazing excitement across every continent where visibility permitted observation. Observatories have reported record attendance at public viewing events. Planetariums have seen increased interest in astronomy programs, and telescope sales have reportedly increased as people seek to deepen their connection with the night sky. Educational institutions have seized the opportunity to teach students about lunar mechanics, orbital dynamics, and the science behind supermoons, turning celestial spectacle into learning opportunity. Amateur astronomy clubs have organised viewing parties, creating communities of enthusiasts who share knowledge, equipment, and passion for the heavens above. This magnificent display represents a beautiful mix of astronomy meets pure awe, where scientific understanding enhances rather than diminishes the emotional impact of the experience. Knowing why the moon appears larger and brighter does not reduce its beauty, but rather deepens our appreciation for the complex celestial mechanics that govern our solar system. The cold supermoon stands as proof that science and wonder are not opposing forces but complementary ways of engaging with the natural world, each enriching the other in meaningful ways. This truly has been a night to remember on a global scale, a moment that will be recalled in years to come when people think back on 2025 and the celestial gifts it offered to patient observers. The cold moon has written itself into the astronomical calendar of human memory, joining countless other lunar events that have inspired, guided, and captivated our species throughout the long millennia of human existence, beneath the watchful gaze of our closest celestial neighbour. But what exactly makes this particular December moon so special that it deserves such attention and reverence from observers around the world? To understand the magnitude of what we are witnessing, we must explore both the cultural traditions that gave it its name and the precise astronomical mechanics that make it a supermoon. This combination of ancient human knowledge and modern scientific understanding creates a rich tapestry of meaning that enhances our appreciation of this celestial event. The term cold moon represents December's full moon, intrinsically linked with the arrival of winter in the Northern Hemisphere and the deepest embrace of the coldest season of the year. The name originates from Native American tribes, particularly the Mohawk people, who used lunar cycles to track the passing of seasons long before modern calendars existed. They named each full moon based on the natural phenomena occurring during that time of year, creating a living calendar that connected them intimately with the rhythms of nature. December's moon earned its chilly designation because it rises during the month when winter truly settles in, bringing freezing temperatures, shortened daylight hours, and the first serious snowfalls that blanket the landscape in white. The cold moon stands as a powerful symbol of winter's deep embrace, representing not just the physical cold, but also a time of introspection, gathering of resources, and preparation for the challenging months ahead. Indigenous peoples understood that this moon marked a critical turning point in the annual cycle, a moment when communities needed to rely on stored provisions and mutual support to survive until spring's return. The longest nights of the year surround the cold moon, creating an environment where the moon's light becomes even more precious and noticeable against the extended darkness. Modern observers continue to feel this ancient connection, sensing something primal and profound when they gaze upon the December moon hanging in the winter sky. But this year offers something beyond the typical cold moon experience. This year, it is also a supermoon, an occurrence that makes this lunar event extra special and particularly worthy of our attention and awe. The designation of supermoon is not merely poetic language, but rather a specific astronomical phenomenon that occurs when the full moon phase coincides with the moon's closest approach to Earth along its orbital path. Not every full moon qualifies as a supermoon, making these events relatively rare and therefore highly anticipated by astronomy enthusiasts and casual sky watchers alike. The moon appears larger and brighter as it comes closer to Earth during its regular orbital journey around our planet. On December 4th, 2025, the moon reached its peak fullness while positioned at a distance of approximately 357,219 kilometers from Earth, which translates to roughly 221,965 miles away. This represents the moon's passage through perigee, the technical term for the closest point in its elliptical orbit around Earth. To put this in perspective, the moon's orbit is not a perfect circle, but rather an ellipse, meaning its distance from Earth constantly varies as it completes each roughly 27-day orbital cycle. At its moment of peak illumination, the cold supermoon displays a honey gold glow that seems to radiate warmth despite the winter cold, creating a visual paradox that enchants observers. This distinctive coloration occurs when the moon rises near the horizon, where Earth's atmosphere acts like a filter, scattering blue light wavelengths while allowing the warmer red and yellow wavelengths to pass through more easily. The effect creates that characteristic golden appearance that photographers treasure and that has inspired countless artistic representations throughout human history. The scientific measurements reveal just how impressive supermoons truly are compared to ordinary full moons that occur when our satellite is farther away. Supermoons shine up to 30% brighter than the dimmest full moons of the year, which occur at apogee when the moon reaches its farthest point from Earth in its orbital path. This dramatic increase in brightness means that supermoons cast noticeably stronger shadows, illuminate landscapes more effectively, and create better conditions for nocturnal activities that humans have traditionally associated with full moon nights. The increased luminosity also makes supermoons easier to photograph, even with relatively simple camera equipment, allowing more people to capture and share their experiences of these special events. Additionally, supermoons also look up to 14% bigger in the sky compared to full moons at apogee, a size difference that becomes particularly noticeable when the moon is near the horizon. While 14% might not sound dramatic, the human eye is remarkably good at detecting such differences when the moon is compared against familiar earthbound objects like buildings, trees, or mountains. This size increase, combined with the enhanced brightness, creates the distinctive appearance that gives supermoons their popular name and their ability to capture public imagination. This remarkable visual effect is the result of the moon's elliptical orbit, bringing it near Earth at precisely the right moment. Celestial mechanics, governed by the same gravitational laws that Isaac Newton first described centuries ago, determine when these alignments occur. The elliptical nature of the lunar orbit means that sometimes full moons happen when the moon is far away, creating unremarkable lunar displays, while at other times the full phase coincides perfectly with perigee, gifting us with supermoons. The December 2025 cold moon represents one of these fortunate alignments, creating what astronomers describe as one of the closest and therefore most impressive supermoons in recent years. This is a rare combination indeed, bringing together winter vibes with huge moon energy in a way that creates both visual spectacle and emotional resonance. The cold supermoon stands at the intersection of natural cycles, cultural traditions, and astronomical phenomena, offering observers a chance to connect with something larger than themselves. while standing firmly rooted in the ancient human tradition of moon watching that stretches back to the very dawn of our species. Beyond the scientific measurements and cultural traditions, many people around the world believe this cold supermoon carries a deeper significance that extends far beyond its physical presence in the night sky. This lunar event has been marketed by spiritual practitioners and astrologers as nature's grand finale of the year, a celestial curtain call that brings with it powerful energies for transformation and renewal. Whether you approach these ideas from a position of belief or skepticism, there is no denying that millions of people worldwide feel a profound connection to the moon and its cycles, attributing meaning and influence to its phases that shapes their understanding of themselves and their place in the universe. For those attuned to these energies, this represents a moment to feel the pulse of the universe itself, to sense the rhythmic heartbeat of cosmic forces that govern not just the tides of our oceans, but potentially the tides of human emotion and consciousness as well. The full moon has long been associated in folklore and tradition with heightened emotions, increased intuition, and shifts in mood and behaviour. While scientific evidence for these effects remains debated and controversial, the lived experience of countless individuals across cultures and throughout history suggests that something meaningful occurs during these lunar peaks, something that transcends simple superstition. The cold supermoon particularly encourages emotional release, providing what practitioners describe as a perfect opportunity for letting go of the yearly baggage that we have accumulated over the past 12 months. As 2025 draws to a close, people naturally engage in reflection about the year that has passed, considering both triumphs and failures, moments of joy and periods of struggle. The December full moon arrives at precisely this moment of natural transition, offering what some see as cosmic permission to release regrets, forgive perceived failures, and consciously choose which emotional burdens to carry forward and which to leave behind in the dying year. This practice of intentional release has psychological benefits regardless of whether one believes in lunar influence, creating a ritual moment for processing complex emotions. Astrologically, this lunar event is seen as a powerful cleansing moment, a cosmic rinse that washes away the accumulated energetic debris of daily life. Astrologers suggest that full moons in general act as illumination points, bringing hidden issues into conscious awareness, where they can be examined, understood, and ultimately released. The supermoon quality amplifies this effect, making the December cold moon particularly potent for those seeking to clear their emotional and spiritual slate before entering a new calendar year. Whether understood literally or metaphorically, this framework provides people with a structured approach to self-examination and personal growth. The cold supermoon pushes self-growth and deep internal reflection, creating what adherents describe as ideal conditions for honest self-assessment and conscious evolution. The combination of the year ending, the winter season's introspective quality, and the moon's illuminating brightness creates a convergence of influences that supports turning inward. In our modern world of constant distraction and external stimulation, these moments of forced reflection become increasingly valuable, offering rare opportunities to disconnect from the noise and reconnect with deeper questions about purpose, direction, and authenticity. Many spiritual practitioners view this event as a cosmic reset button for 2026 energy, suggesting that the intentions we set and the releases we make during this lunation will ripple forward into the coming year. This belief transforms the cold supermoon from a passive viewing experience into an active participatory event, where conscious engagement with the lunar energy becomes part of personal development practice. Meditation, journaling, intention-setting rituals, and cleansing ceremonies are all common activities that people undertake during supermoons, particularly at year's end when the symbolic significance feels especially potent. The December cold moon is positioned strongly in its zodiac house, specifically rising in the sign of Gemini while the sun occupies Sagittarius, creating what astrologers call an opposition aspect that highlights themes of communication versus wisdom, detail versus big picture, mental activity versus philosophical understanding. This opposition becomes a focused cosmic laser beam for transformation, concentrating the moon's influence on particular life areas and creating what practitioners describe as enhanced conditions for breakthrough insights and necessary changes. The Gemini-Sagittarius axis deals fundamentally with how we learn, communicate, and understand our world, making this full moon particularly relevant for mental and intellectual evolution. This lunar positioning activates intense spiritual awareness in those who are sensitive to such influences or who consciously work with astrological energies. The Gemini moon encourages mental clarity, improved communication, the release of overthinking patterns, and the ability to see situations from multiple perspectives. Meanwhile, the Sagittarian sun calls for faith, optimism, adventure, and the pursuit of meaning and truth. The tension between these energies creates a dynamic push-pull that can feel challenging but ultimately productive, forcing growth through the integration of seemingly opposite qualities. The universe, according to this worldview, is essentially saying upgrade your life now. This is not a gentle suggestion, but rather an urgent cosmic imperative, a moment when the energetic conditions align to support significant personal evolution for those willing to do the internal work required. The cold supermoon represents a rare confluence of factors: the ending of a year, the depth of winter, the closeness of the moon, and the specific astrological configurations, all combining to create what believers describe as an unusually powerful window for transformation. Whether one accepts the astrological framework or not, the psychological impact of believing that the universe supports your growth can itself become a self-fulfilling prophecy, providing motivation and structure for positive change. The message resonates across spiritual communities and social media platforms, where millions share their experiences, intentions, and rituals associated with this final supermoon of 2025. This collective participation creates its own kind of energy, a shared human experience of marking time, acknowledging transitions, and consciously choosing to engage with the natural cycles that have guided human societies since long before recorded history. The cold supermoon becomes not just an astronomical event, but a cultural moment, a shared ritual that connects modern humans to ancient practices of moon observation and reverence that stretch back to the very origins of human civilization and our first attempts to understand our place beneath the stars. While this transformative energy touches everyone who witnesses the cold supermoon, astrologers have identified that the impact is especially intense for certain zodiac signs, with Gemini and Sagittarius bearing the strongest and most direct influence of this final lunar event of 2025. These two signs occupy the axis along which the full moon occurs, creating what practitioners describe as a cosmic spotlight that illuminates their lives with particular intensity and urgency. For individuals born under these signs, the cold moon represents not just a beautiful celestial event, but a potentially life-altering moment that calls for attention, action, and conscious engagement with the energies at play. The astrological community emphasizes that this lunation calls for a major overhaul in communication and travel plans for those most affected by its influence. Gemini, the sign of the twins, governs all forms of communication, from casual conversation to profound dialogue, from written expression to digital messaging, from teaching to learning. The full moon occurring in this sign brings these themes to maximum intensity, forcing issues around how we express ourselves, how we listen to others, and how we process and share information. For Gemini natives, this represents a moment of reckoning with their communication patterns, both productive and problematic. Meanwhile, Sagittarius governs long-distance travel, higher education, philosophical pursuits, and the search for meaning and truth. The sun's position in this sign during the full moon creates tension and opportunity, pushing Sagittarius individuals to examine their beliefs, question their assumptions, and potentially restructure their entire worldview. The cold supermoon forces clarity where chaos previously existed, cutting through confusion and ambiguity with the sharp light of lunar illumination. For months, both Gemini and Sagittarius may have felt caught in situations lacking clear definition or direction, wandering through fog without adequate markers to guide their way forward. This full moon acts as a clarifying force, burning away the mist and revealing the landscape with stark honesty. What was uncertain becomes defined. What was ambiguous becomes clear. What was possible crystallizes into what is actual. This clarity can feel simultaneously liberating and challenging, as seeing truth means confronting reality without the comfortable cushion of uncertainty that allows us to avoid difficult decisions. The lunar event demands attention and action from those within its strongest influence, refusing to permit passive observation or comfortable neutrality. The Gemini-Sagittarius axis is fundamentally about seeking and sharing truth, about learning and teaching, about collecting information and synthesizing wisdom from that information. The full moon magnifies these themes to their maximum intensity, creating what astrologers describe as a one-night window of massive change energy that, while brief in astronomical terms, can create effects that ripple forward for months or even years. The choices made, conversations had, and insights gained during this lunation carry disproportionate weight, serving as pivot points around which future developments will turn. The messaging from this celestial configuration proves clear and unambiguous. Transformation is inevitable. Whether we resist or embrace it, change arrives regardless of our preference or preparation. The cold supermoon announces that old patterns have run their course, that previous approaches no longer serve our evolution, that the time has come to shed what no longer fits and step into new ways of being. This inevitability removes the possibility of avoidance, confronting us directly with the necessity of growth. For Gemini, this might manifest as recognizing that superficial communication no longer satisfies, that deeper authenticity must replace clever deflection. For Sagittarius, it might mean acknowledging that rigid beliefs limit experience, that certainty must give way to continued learning and openness to perspectives beyond our current understanding. The cold moon proves that the moon's silent power is unstoppable, that celestial mechanics continue regardless of human drama, that natural cycles persist whether we acknowledge them or not. The moon pulls the tides with gravitational force that cannot be negotiated or compromised. Similarly, the psychological and spiritual tides that many people experience during full moons, particularly powerful ones like supermoons, carry an inexorable quality that demands recognition. Fighting against these energies often proves exhausting and ultimately futile, while working with them can accelerate personal development and create conditions for breakthrough insights and transformative experiences. This particular lunation encourages mental refresh and new direction for all who consciously engage with its energies, offering what practitioners describe as a cosmic opportunity to reboot mental operating systems that have become cluttered with outdated programming. Just as computers occasionally require a complete restart to clear accumulated errors and restore optimal function, human consciousness benefits from periodic reset moments that allow us to release habitual thought patterns, question automatic assumptions, and choose consciously which mental frameworks we want to carry forward. The Gemini quality of the moon emphasizes mental flexibility, adaptability, curiosity, and the willingness to see situations from multiple angles, rather than remaining locked into single rigid perspectives. The cold supermoon becomes a cosmic reminder that we are part of something bigger than ourselves, something that transcends individual concerns and connects us to vast cycles of time and space. When we look at the moon, we see the same object that every human who has ever lived has seen, the same celestial body that witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, the birth of religions, the development of science, and every human triumph and tragedy throughout history. This continuity creates perspective, reminding us that our individual lives, while precious and meaningful, represent brief moments within much larger stories. The moon's unchanging presence offers stability amid human chaos, a fixed point in a changing world. The cosmic signature concludes with what many spiritual practitioners describe as a clear declaration: glow-up season unlocked. This phrase, borrowed from contemporary language, captures the essence of what astrologers believe this lunar event offers to those willing to engage with it consciously. A glow-up represents transformation that is not merely internal but visible, a change that others notice, an evolution that manifests in how we present ourselves to the world. The Cold Supermoon, as the final major lunar event of 2025, provides energetic support for such transformations, creating favourable conditions for those ready to step into elevated versions of themselves. Whether understood literally in astrological terms or metaphorically as psychological permission to pursue positive change, the concept offers hope and motivation as one year ends and another begins. The final full moon of the year thus becomes more than an astronomical event. It transforms into a cultural moment, a spiritual opportunity, a psychological milestone, and a shared human experience that connects millions of people around the world who pause their daily routines to look up at the night sky. The cold supermoon of December 2025 will be remembered not just for its brightness and size, but for the meaning that people chose to find within it, the intentions they set beneath its light, and the transformations they initiated under its watchful gaze. As the moon continues its eternal orbit, unchanged by human interpretation, yet forever interpreted by humans seeking connection, meaning, and guidance from the cosmos above, it reminds us that we are both insignificant specks in an incomprehensibly vast universe and precious conscious beings, capable of finding beauty, meaning, and transformation in the natural world around us.